Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwaraha. Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike. Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasya, 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 namo namaha. Om Bhagavate Shri Swaminarayana namaha. Shri Lakshmi Narayana namaha. Shri Radha Krishnaya namo namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumanji Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 4th of January, 2024. I want to offer my prostrations to Bhagavan, Supreme Paramatma, residing in the heart of every being, and to all the great sages who are present today, yet to come, have come in the past. We are now jumping back right into the Mandukya Upanishad, verse number 1. The verse is as follows. The broken down, the actual words are as follows. Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam tasya upavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkaraha eva. These are the words. So today we're going to start with the fourth word because we've covered the other three in previous recordings. The fourth word is Aksharam. This word is now familiar to lots of people in Sanatan Dharma because of the Swaminarayan Sampradaya of the building of the Akshardham temples in Delhi and in Robbinsville and so many other places. People have at least heard the word Akshardham. So that is a good thing because this word Akshar is from the Upanishads. And it is right here inside the Mandukya Upanishad, verse number 1. Now we're going to open this word carefully, step by step, sequentially, to really understand its meaning, what the Upanishad is saying, then what the Gita is saying, then what the Vachanamrita is saying. You could spend whole lifetime studying this. Massive organizations like the BAPS organization that is famous throughout the world is based on this Akshara Brahma concept and the way that Swaminarayan Bhagavan interpreted Akshara Brahma and added to what the Upanishad is talking about. It goes into much more profound tattvic realization. But we want to go slowly, carefully, because we could spend 5 years talking about this one word only, Aksharam. That's how much depth there is in the scriptures and the multitude of sages that have talked about it. Let's go into it one step at a time. By the grace of the Gurus, we'll be able to make some progress in this. All right, so first of all, the word Aksharam, it is a composite word. It is a composite word, meaning a plus kshar, K-S-H-A-R. The simple, straightforward meaning is that which is constantly changing, that which is being destroyed, that which is mutating, that is called shar, K-S-H-A-R. The way it is pronounced in Sanskrit, it is pronounced kshar. It's a ksha. There's a symbol for that, ksha. K-S-H-A-R is called shar. And akshar means that which is imperishable, that which is indestructible, that which is unfailing, that which is immutable. It refers to a reality that is beyond decay, beyond change, and beyond destruction. I hope this is clear. Now, those who are following along, please be very attentive to the sequential development to understand this word Akshara. That which is beyond decay, change, and destruction. In our experience of life and of reality, everything is decaying, everything is changing, everything is being destroyed. Every second, we talked about Nitya Pralay before. Where do we find anything in the world that is imperishable, indestructible, immutable? That it doesn't even change. It's immutable. mutation, the word to mutate means to change from one thing to another, to one thing to another. That is called mutation. Genetic mutation is one word, one way that word is used. So the Upanishad, this is thousands of years back, is teaching us that there is a reality that is Omkar, that is imperishable. It describes it as Omkar, but that is a sound, that is the vibrational sound that is the same as the immutable Brahman. Now, this Brahman, the word Brahman, Brahman, and the word Akshara are synonyms. Synonyms in what sense? The word Brahman means vast, unending, and Akshara means that which is absolute, that which is eternally present, that which always was, always is, always will be. That is the eternity. So when you combine these two words together, we get Akshara Brahma. Right? So now you've got three words here: Brahman, Aksharam, and Akshara Brahma. Right? So when you combine them together, Akshara Brahma means that imperishable, immutable, vast, infinite, unending consciousness that ever was, ever is, ever will be, that is beyond the fabric of time and space, beyond contraction and expansion, that is called Akshara Brahma. Amazing. This is a great, fantastic discovery of the rishis. Discovery, we can say, or it is grace by Bhagavan, we can say. Both are true. It is the most extraordinary discovery. Because when rishis are sitting in dhyan, think about that time 10,000 years ago. They're sitting in the forests. They're sitting in the mountains. They're sitting in nature. This is a nature tradition. हमारी जो ये संस्कृति, सनातन संस्कृति जो हम कहते हैं, ये प्योर नेचर ट्रेडिशन है. The mandir sab ho gaye, that came much later on. There were no mandirs or anything like this before. And that's fine. There's reason for that too. But this is how it begins. Rishis are sitting in their ashram. The word is ashram. The word is not mandir. The word is not sadhu or sant or anything. The word is rishi. See the language from that time. That is the original Sanatan Dharma. Because that is experimentation, exploration, meditation. It is a experimentation-based tradition. It didn't begin with an established tradition and people are born into that tradition. It wasn't like that. Eventually the tradition developed. But that's another subject altogether. It's not another subject, but it's another corollary to this point. Rishis are sitting in dhyan. Rishis sab dhyan mein baithe. They have dived into the heart, into the inner space. They have gone inside. Remember, we talked about this long time back. There are two types of exploration. One is an external exploration, and the other is the internal exploration. Both are scientific exploration. One is an objective scientific exploration based on our senses, like the microscopes, telescopes, Hubble space, James Webb, and all the other instruments that are available to discover the external reality, including all the medical sciences and etc., that is studying the physiology of the body. That is the external research. The internal research is subjective research. I want to make that point clear. Subjective means it is groping into the self. Who am I? What am I? It is the internal dive, and we find which one is more difficult. Both are difficult, but the internal going inside is extremely difficult. Try it sometime. I mentioned it before some years back also. Go to a nice natural place. Go by yourself. Don't take anybody with you. Keep your phone in the car. Lock it up. Only you, You don't have to take even jap mala, kuch nahi lena. Only you and just nature. And sit with yourself for 1 hour. Try to do it for 1 hour. And see how hard it is. It's hard to do for even 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We are not even comfortable with ourselves. Where's the issue of discovering the Atman and Brahman and Akshar Brahman? Chhod do ye sab baat. Ye kabhi bhi nahi hoga. Not until we are comfortable with sitting in our own skin by ourselves, alone, without technology, without anything except breath, the mind, the sun, the moon, the senses, the external world, and simply, who am I? Main kaun hu? Kuch nahi, chhod do. We leave everything else aside. Doesn't mean we throw everything else aside. It's there. You'll come back to it later. Mandir bhi hai, sadhana bhi hai, Bhagwan ki murti bhi hai. Everything is there. I'm talking about how these Upanishads begin. They begin like this. And if you want to be a rishi, try doing this type of sadhana. Our mind is just cluttered with all kinds of trash of this world. Sadhana is necessary. Mandir, Bhagwan ki murti, all those things came later on. They are extremely important. But they cannot be escapes. They're not an escape. They are an avlamban, a support, and they're also the destination. We'll talk about that later on. But this is how this begins. To discover Aksharam, that an immutable, imperishable, unfailing, undecaying, non-decaying, non-changing, non-destructible, the source of all existence. How did the rishis do this? And they are called rishi, meaning seer. They are able to see. Well, see into what? If I'm sitting in a park, on a park bench, and I do this sometimes, we have so many parks. We have, state parks and county parks, and they're all over this country. Just put on your phone, nearest park, and you'll find 5-10 of them within 10 miles. You can try it at home also. Don't have anybody distract you. Turn the phone off for 1 hour and say, it's just going to be me, my breath, my mind, and who am I? And you'll notice if you close your eyes and try to look inside, there is the massive world of thoughts, feelings, memories. Chakkar hai sabhe. It is a massive, Gunatitanand Swami mentioned this as Antakaranno Kajiyo. It's an internal chaos. Can you imagine how difficult that is to cross, to stabilize? But this is what they did. They stabilized it. They said, we are going to stabilize the inner world. We can try this. We can try this sadhana. We can say, I'm waking up in the morning today. Today, sit for some period of time, maybe an hour, 45 minutes. Do deep breathing. How am I going to stabilize my mind to make it steady? How can I do it? The only thing I have is my body, to keep my body in different postures, and my breath. Aur kya hai? Assuming there's no mantra that is being used or anything else, leave all that aside just for the time being. You only have your body, your breath, and your mind. Nothing else. And try to stabilize. Try to bring harmony to the mind. How would you do it? Well, you can control the speed of the breath. Yes. And then you will discover that controlling the speed of the breath, taking the inward breath, holding the breath, letting it go, playing around with the breath, has a relationship with the speed of the mind. And we're talking about the speed of the mind only. We're not even talking about to bring the contents of the mind into a synchronous state. That is why the rishis went into the forests, into the jungles and all that. They built these ashramas where they're not disturbed by anybody. See, we have lost all this thing to a large extent. People go to temples or they go to different gurus and all that. That's all right. They have meditation centers. Very good. They're trying to recreate this. But if you really are a serious sadhak, one has to have a very pure, holy place for meditation. This is a meditation tradition. Ye sab dhyan ka tradition hai. And it means to sit silently for extended periods of time with yourself. And it is difficult. It is extremely difficult because our mind is heavily conditioned. Our mind is going to go in 1,000 directions. So we have to then bring our stability, bring the stability. So let's take the step further. Assuming that the mind can be stabilized, purified, I won't go into all the steps right now. Assuming that that can be done, now we come to the Upanishad. Om Aksharam. This Aksharam, meaning it is the opening from inside of the unfathomable, imperishable, unmutable, immutable reality that is called Akshara. It begins to open. My God, what is this? These are mystical. There are mystical experiences also. But now a reality opens up that is not in the dimension of the senses, Indriyatit, beyond the senses. Gunatit, beyond the three gunas of Maya. Dehatit, sthul sukshma karan se par. A reality that is the actual reality, Satyam, that opens. So the sadhak says, oh, this is real, not this. This world we see outside is part of Jagrata Avastha. There's Swapna Avastha. Ye meri Jagrata Avastha hai. Ye meri Swapna Avastha. Main kaun hu? See this question. Meri Sushupti Avastha. Who am I? So this is the discovery that awaits us all. As we progress in the multitude of spiritual paths, the Akshara Brahma begins to open. And when that opens, that is real, absolutely real. Then this entire sansar, we can see it for exactly what it is. It is only a bubble. The whole Brahmand is just, it is only the Akshara Brahma, but it is in another dynamic form. This is Advaita Vedanta. So this realization is the key, not simply intellectual conclusion. Right now you heard Sachin speak this. I can read it, talk about it. That's okay. But that doesn't mean we have realized it. To realize this actual Aksharam, that is what Vivek Chudamani is all about. The Vivek Chudamani and all of Shankaracharyaji's commentaries are an exposition on these Upanishads. These Upanishads are highly concentrated. Super truth is inside there, supreme truth. So the Acharyas had to open it up for the public, to give their commentaries, to give their perspectives, so that the general public can understand what this is and at the same time realize it. And that is the beauty of the Upanishad. Now, a couple of more points I just want to mention about the discovery. Now, we're going further here. If the rishis, are speaking the truth, which we assume they are, Aksharam is that extraordinary Brahman, infinite consciousness that transcends the limitations of space and time. There's an arti, in many artis, there's that word kal, karma, thi chuti. Going outside kal and karma. It's outside of cosmic time. Galaxies are only bubbles. We think galaxies are something great. They're of no consequence at all compared to Akshara Brahma. They're simply like subatomic particles. In Vachanamrut mein likha hai, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, wo kya kehte hai? Akshar na ek koti na bhag ma ananta koti brahmand anu ni pete farya kare. Anu means what? Atomic. They're atomic. They're spinning and they are moving as atoms in the body of Akshara Brahma. Akshar na ek rom na koti na bhag ma ananta koti brahmand anu ni pete fare. This is written in Vachanamrut, several places. Can you imagine this statement that these galaxies, massive galaxies, are only like tiny atoms? What a statement that is. What a vision that is. Amazing, amazing. So the cycles of creation, destruction, utpatti, sthiti, pralay, ये तो सब बहुत चलता है. क्या नया है इसमें? कुछ नया नहीं है इसमें. What is new is Bhagvat Dham. This Akshara, ये भगवान का धाम है. And that we will talk about later on. But the Upanishad does talk about that also, but we'll get into that as we move ahead. Right now, the only point we're making, and we'll close with this right today, that this is an unchanging reality. It doesn't change. Everything in our perception, including this body, our mind also, the people around us, everything is changing. It's not permanent. It is, Aksharam means unchanging. It doesn't change. While the world around us is in constant flux, the Omkar, the Brahman itself, as Aksharam, because the word Aksharam also has another meaning, that this is a sound vibration. It represents the unchanging eternal reality underlying all phenomena. All phenomena we see, but phenomena exist because there's an underlying reality. The underlying reality is the actual reality. It is the constant amidst the changing. What is that which is amidst that which is changing? The waves keep changing, but the ocean doesn't change. The ocean is always the ocean. The waves come and go, come and go, come and go. This is Advaita Vedanta. The various jewels are made, the various jewelry items are made by the jeweler, but the gold doesn't come and go. You can make a nose ring and dissolve it into a toe ring, and toe ring into an earring and into a necklace, but the gold doesn't change. The gold always is, always will be, always was. Similarly, the Brahman always is, always was, always will be. It is the only reality. Everything else is just a fluctuation. It is the changing experience, but that changing experience is only Brahman in another form. This is Advaita Vedanta. Right? So let's stop here for now. We're just cracking the surface of this. There's so many beautiful ways to look at this. We are going to have retreats later on this year on Advaita Vedanta. I have completed another research project on this, so we're giving you that information later on this month sometime. All right, so with that, namaskar to everybody. Thank you all so much. Let's do the closing mantra. Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murtihi Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam Puja Mulam Gurur Padam Moksha Mulam Gurur Krupa Divilingaya Nama Urdhva Lingaya Nama Ananda Lingaya Nama Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha Shri Uma Maheshwara Swamine Namaha Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanyatrambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Om Durge Durge Rakshini Tha Tha Swaha Om Shri Durgar Pranamastu Om Shri Radha Krishnar Pranamastu Rim